They told you karma would handle it, that if you stayed silent, the universe would balance the scales. But the truth? Karma is passive revenge for the weak. A bedtime story told to keep lions tame. The world doesn't reward your restraint, it rewards your precision. Because while you're waiting on fate, your enemies are celebrating your silence. They're mocking your patience. And every second you let it slide, they rise in confidence. You want justice? Deliver it, strategically. Without noise, without apology, no rage, no chaos, just cold calculation. You don't scream, you sharpen. You don't wish for karma, you become the consequence. Karma doesn't level the field, power does, and you're about to learn how to use it. This isn't about being petty, it's about rebalancing the order by force. If you've ever been disrespected, underestimated, or crossed, this is how you make sure they never forget. Now that you're here, we say a warm thank you to you all. Support us by hitting the subscribe button. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. First, you have to understand that karma is not what it seems to be. You've been lied to all your life. Understand the myth of karma, how it keeps you powerless. Karma is the most elegant lie ever sold to the powerless. It tells you justice is coming, that wrongdoers will get what they deserve. That you, so long as you stay silent, forgiving, and morally pure, will be vindicated by some invisible cosmic force. But here's the brutal truth. Karma is a pacifier, a clever psychological muzzle. It was never designed to deliver justice. It was designed to keep men like you from seizing it. They teach you to let it go, not because they care about your peace, but because your rage scares them. Your ability to retaliate, if activated, is nuclear, so they wrap you in soft-spoken lies. Be the bigger person. Everything comes back around, God will deal with them. No, that's not justice. That's spiritual sedation. And it works like a charm, because it flatters your ego. You think you're enlightened for not reacting. But what you're really doing is obeying a script they gave you. And who wins when you wait for karma? Manipulators. Liars. Betrayers. The wolves who bit you walk away unscarred, while you stare at the sky waiting for thunder. But there is no thunder. There's just silence. Because karma is not a universal law. It's not gravity. It's not physics. It's an ideology, a belief system, crafted to make men outsource vengeance to the air while predators walk free. Meanwhile, the Machiavellian doesn't believe in karma. He believes in consequences, and he delivers them with timing, precision, and no apology. He doesn't explode emotionally. He studies, he waits, he sharpens. Because to him, retaliation isn't an act of rage, it's a responsibility. Those who teach you karma are rarely under attack. But those who are betrayed, insulted, disrespected, they're told to trust the process. That process, it leaves you disarmed, domesticated, and digestible. Let the rest of the world believe in karma. Let them sit quietly and hope for justice. But you become the consequence. They feed you karma so you never feed them consequences. You see, to destroy your enemies once and for all, Machiavelli recommends 5 rules that you must follow strictly. Leaving those that shame, mock, and disrespect you to karma is for the weak. If you're still watching till this moment, ensure you subscribe to this channel, then comment where you're watching from. Rule 1. Control the retaliation timeline. The weak react. The powerful wait. Every time someone disrespects you, insults you, betrays you, your instinct will scream to lash out immediately. That's your ego talking. But ego is noisy and useless when it comes to revenge. The Machiavellian doesn't react. He prepares. Because raw emotion gives your enemy a signal, and timing is everything. If they can predict your strike, they can deflect it. But when your retaliation is delayed, surgical, and cold, it becomes unforgettable. You don't bark, you observe, you don't throw punches, you stack data, you disappear into silence, not because you're weak, but because you're building the perfect trap. Know this, strategic delay is psychological warfare. When you don't respond immediately, your enemy feels the weight of uncertainty. They ask themselves, did he miss it? Is he too afraid to respond? Is he planning something? And that tension, the waiting, starts to eat at them. While they celebrate your silence, they become blind to your preparation. Because here's the truth, the most effective retaliation is never reactive. It's designed. You wait for the moment when their guard is down, when they feel safe. Then you strike. Not loudly, but precisely. You destroy their credibility subtly. You isolate them from the room without raising your voice. You expose them without ever naming them. The goal isn't chaos. The goal is correction. Your retaliation should feel like fate, not fury. The man who masters this rule becomes dangerous because he's unpredictable, unreadable, and most of all, unreachable by guilt or manipulation. He chooses when to move, how to move, and who gets to feel the burn. This is why controlled vengeance always hits harder. Not because it's louder, but because it's earned. Every second of delay builds psychological charge until the moment you release it. And in that moment, there's no screaming, no emotion, no breakdown, just silence and impact. The strike they never see coming breaks deeper than 1,000 angry words. Let the emotional ones scream. Let the cowards pray to karma. You vanish into stillness and reappear with precision. Rule 2, humiliate through subtle reversal. There's a form of revenge more lethal than violence, more lasting than words, public humiliation, delivered through elegance, not rage. Machiavellian retaliation doesn't aim to break bones. It aims to break reputations, slowly, silently, and with surgical precision. But here's the twist. You never directly insult them. You don't stoop to their level. Instead, you engineer moments that expose them without lifting a finger. You reverse the attack. Not with confrontation, but with setup. Let's say someone mocks you publicly. You don't clap back. You ask them a calm, innocent question that puts their insecurity in the spotlight. You smile, not to diffuse the tension, but to reveal it. You let them walk into their own embarrassment voluntarily. Here's how you do it. Use loaded compliments that highlight their weakness. You're really bold to dress like that. I admire the confidence. Ask curious questions that make them expose their ignorance. What made you so sure of that? Laugh subtly when they seek validation, not cruelly, dismissively. Smirk when they talk too much. The room will notice, even if they don't. Subtle reversal works because it's social judo. You don't resist the force, you redirect it. Instead of defending yourself, you guide the crowd's attention toward their weakness. Instead of proving your strength, you let them display their insecurity. And the beauty is, no one can accuse you of attacking. You asked a question, you gave a compliment. You smiled, but the damage is real. Because humiliation that feels like self-inflicted exposure leaves a deeper scar. This is the art of Machiavellian revenge. Make them destroy their own image with your help. You don't raise your voice, you raise the mirror. When they try to laugh at you, the room laughs at them. And they'll feel it, not just in the moment, but every time they walk back into that same room and remember the silence that followed. Because true humiliation isn't loud, it's lingering. It stains their self-image. It rewrites their social script. So let others explode with emotion. Let others demand apologies. You just tilt the spotlight and let the truth burn them alive. The most devastating revenge is when they destroy their own image with your help. By the time they realize what you've done, it's too late. They're already a joke that doesn't need to be told anymore. And you're still standing, untouched, amused, and miles ahead. Rule 3, make them socially irrelevant. You want real revenge? Don't argue, don't attack, don't even mention them. Erase them. This is not about cancellation. That's too noisy, too emotional. The Machiavellian doesn't cancel, he deletes interest. Your enemy survives on attention. Mockery, praise, drama, it all feeds them. As long as people are watching, they still exist in the social arena. So you don't strike their face, you strike their relevance. Take their audience, redirect the spotlight, steal the stage. You don't have to insult them. You outgrow them, outshine them, outclass them, so thoroughly that people forget they were even part of the conversation. Imagine your enemy was once the loudest voice in the room. Now they speak and no one reacts. No one reposts, no one responds, no one cares. That silence? That's your weapon. Here's how it's done. Elevate your own value so loudly that no one hears their noise. Speak less of them and more of your mission. Make their name disappear from your vocabulary. When others bring them up, change the topic. When they provoke you, respond with indifference. You're not avoiding them. You're out-evolving them. And once people see you don't even acknowledge them anymore, their influence deteriorates. Your lack of attention becomes contagious. Their power shrinks, without you lifting a hand. This is how legends destroy, by becoming so compelling that the enemy fades into static. It's slow, silent suffocation. And it works because it doesn't just crush their ego, it erases their identity. You don't break their reputation in half. You starve it. You let their name rot on the tongues of the irrelevant, while your name gets whispered in rooms they'll never enter again. This is higher-level warfare. You don't fight clowns, you take the audience. No need for a war of words, no need for social grenades. Just dominate the space until they no longer exist inside it. That's not pettiness, that's power. Because silence doesn't mean surrender, it means you've shifted the battlefield and they're no longer on it. Now we escalate. Rule 4, elevate and silence while they burn. When they mock you, bait you, and try to pull you into the dirt, don't respond, don't explain, don't even blink. Instead, rise, silently, strategically, ruthlessly. This is the rule most men break. They think retaliation means getting loud. But the Machiavellian understands, your evolution is the ultimate execution. Let your glow-up suffocate them. Let your new level be their new hell. While they gossip, you build. While they watch, you ascend. You don't address the betrayal, you replace it with a life so powerful, so untouchable, that your very existence becomes a weapon. Here's the psychology. Your absence from petty conflict signals superiority. Your silence forces them to fill in the blanks, and the mind always imagines worse. Your rising success rewrites the story in your favor. They want you to react. Why? Because reaction locks you into their level. But when you vanish from the battlefield and reappear on a throne, they collapse under the weight of their own bitterness. Let them self-destruct trying to figure out why you're not playing the game. Let them scroll through your wins at 2 a.m., wondering why no shot they fired ever made you flinch. You're not proving them wrong. You're making them irrelevant by default. This is spiritual warfare disguised as self-improvement. You're turning your pain into precision, your setback into a spectacle. No engagement, no reply, no mercy. They'll try to provoke a response. Don't give it. They'll try to bait you with drama. Don't bite. They'll try to discredit your growth. Let them, from below. Because once you start rising in silence, something strange happens. They start burning in public. They rage, spiral, and scream, while you glow, win, and ascend. The audience notices. The shift is undeniable, and by the time they realize the war is over, you're already standing where they can't reach. They mocked you when you were building. Now they watch what they can't touch. That's justice. That's dominance. That's how Machiavelli would rise, with no apology, no noise, just undeniable elevation. And we're not done yet. Now that you've risen without a sound, let's shatter the final chain that holds men back: guilt. Now, here is your psychological frame: destruction without guilt. Here's the final lie they injected into your bloodstream: that if you retaliate, you're just as bad. That standing up for yourself makes you toxic, dangerous, evil. But listen closely. That's the leash. That's how manipulators keep power, by weaponizing guilt against those who've finally woken up. You're not cruel, you're not heartless, you're not the villain, you're the correction. Guilt is how they neuter strong men. They feed you ideas like forgiveness, karma, and moral restraint, while they lie, mock, betray, and move on without consequence. That's not justice. That's psychological warfare, and it's time to snap the chain. Understand this. Guilt is only effective on the conscientious. That means if you feel it, you're likely the better person already. But they know this, and they exploit it to keep you disarmed. The Machiavellian path doesn't require cruelty. It requires clarity. You don't retaliate to feel better. You retaliate to restore balance. You destroy betrayal not because you're emotional, but because it's necessary. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to be petty. You don't even have to hate them. But you do have to eliminate the infection before it spreads again. This isn't about revenge. It's about consequence. The kind they thought would never come. You're not playing God. You're simply removing chaos from your system. You're installing order through precision. And yes, sometimes that means you must strike back. No apology, no second guessing, no guilt. You're not evil for punishing betrayal. You're dangerous because you don't apologize for it. Let that become your frame. Cold mind, clear mission, calculated correction. The age of passive suffering is over. You've removed the emotion. You've mastered the strategy. Now it's time to make a decision. Do you want to be remembered as the man who waited for karma, or the man who became it? Let's finish this. Enough waiting. Enough hoping the universe will handle what you should have buried long ago. They disrespected you, mocked you, expected you to fold, and for a while, you did. Because you believed in karma. You thought restraint made you noble, but now you know better. You are not here to forgive betrayal. You are here to end it, silently, strategically, without remorse. Every delay from here is a disservice to your power. So rise without mercy, strike without warning, and walk away without guilt. Let your silence haunt them. Let your success expose them. Let your precision become their punishment. Karma is for fools. Power is for those who strike back, with silence, strategy, and precision. Subscribe if you're done waiting for karma and ready to become the consequence.